begins in the instant after the light swallows everything. The world returned in pieces. First came the sound, a deep metallic groan, like the earth itself waking up in pain. Then came the cold, creeping along Elara's skin before she could even open her eyes. The light was gone, replaced by a dim, pulsating blue glow that ran through cracks in the ground like veins. She gasped. She wasn't in the Arctic chamber anymore. She was somewhere else. Stone pillars stretched high around her, carved with the same ancient lattice symbols she'd seen inside the core, only now they glowed faintly, as if still recovering from the blast. The air was thick with dust and fog, swirling slowly through the vast hall like living smoke. Elara tried to stand, wincing as the golden veins in her arms flickered painfully, like sparks misfiring. "Hale!" her voice echoed, swallowed by the endless dark. No answer. Then a crackling sound behind her. Heavy, strained breathing. She spun. Hale was there, half-conscious, leaning against a collapsed pillar, his jacket shredded, blood streaking down his forehead. He looked up at her, eyes wide with confusion and relief. "Elara, what did you do?" I don't know," she said. "But we're not in the base. The threshold moved us." "Moved us where?" A low hum answered in their place. Both of them froze. From above, massive rings of stone began rotating, illuminated by shifting lines of blue energy. Something ancient was powering up, slowly, deliberately, as if sensing their presence. Elara backed away instinctively. Hale pulled himself upright, adrenaline forcing strength back into his broken limbs. "Elara, look." She followed his stare. At the center of the chamber was a massive structure, suspended in mid-air, a disk of obsidian, split down the middle like a wound. The halves pulsed, drifting closer with every second. "The fracture," Elara whispered. She didn't know how she knew its name. But she did. The knowledge hummed through her veins, the core still whispering inside her. Hale stepped forward, mesmerized. "Is it a portal?" "Not a portal," she said quietly. "A gateway. But incomplete. It needs a source." And then she realized. It needed her. Golden light sparked violently through her arms, reacting to the fracture's pull. She staggered back. "Elara!" Hale grabbed her shoulders. "What's happening?" "The first god," she whispered. This is where it wanted me to go." The air trembled. A shadow spilled across the far wall, massive, shifting, alive. Hale's grip tightened. "Tell me that's falling debris." "It's not." From the darkness emerged a towering figure of mist and bone-like lattice, its eyes burning with white flame, a guardian born from the fractures between dimensions. The creature screamed, the sound warping the entire chamber. And the fracture responded. The two halves snapped violently apart, firing a beam of pure blue energy that struck the guardian in the chest, but it only staggered. It wasn't attacking them. It was coming for her. "Elara, run!" Hale shouted. "No," she said, voice shaking but firm. "If I run, it follows. If it reaches me, the gate opens." "What happens if the gate opens?" She swallowed hard. "Humanity ends." The guardian lunged. Hale pulled her aside, both of them slamming behind a fallen stone slab as the creature's massive claws tore into the floor. "Elara," Hale whispered, "what the hell do we do?" She stared at her glowing hands, trembling. "We fight," she said. "But not the guardian. The fracture." Hale blinked. "You want to break the thing that's already broken?" "It's trying to complete itself using me. If I hit it with enough energy, I might overload it." "And what happens to you?" She didn't answer. Hale's voice cracked. "Elara, look at me." She met his eyes. "You said earlier, nothing comes for free. Everything has a price. But I'm not losing you. Not here." A thunderous roar cut through their moment. The guardian tore the stone slab apart. Elara stood, golden veins erupting into flame. "Hale, buy me 10 seconds." He exhaled, shaking. "I'll buy you 20. He charged. And Elara turned toward the fracture, toward her fate, as the entire chamber exploded into motion. Hale didn't feel brave. He didn't feel ready. But he ran anyway, straight at the guardian towering over them. The creature's chest glowed with crackling white fire. Its arms, long as spears, sliced through the dust-filled air. Hale ducked under the first swipe, rolled beneath the second, and grabbed a jagged shard of fallen stone. It was laughable compared to the giant before him, but it was all he had. He slammed it into the creature's leg. The shard shattered. The guardian didn't even flinch. But it paused, and that was enough. "Elara!" Hale yelled, scrambling backward as the guardian turned its burning eyes toward him. Elara was already in motion. Golden light burst around her feet as she sprinted toward the suspended fracture, its two halves pulling toward each other like a heartbeat synchronizing for the first time in centuries. The chamber trembled with every pulse. She felt the core inside her responding, charging, rising. "You were made for this. You are the key." The whisper wasn't hers. It never was. "Elara, stop!" Hale's voice echoed behind her. She didn't look back. If she hesitated now, everything was lost. She leapt onto the central platform as the fracture's light intensified. Symbols on the stone floor ignited one by one, creating a rotating circle of blinding energy around her. Hale's voice struggled through the noise. "Elara, don't you dare!" She raised her hands toward the floating disk. The chamber dimmed instantly. A sphere of golden light formed around her palms, growing, expanding, vibrating so violently that cracks rippled up her arms. She screamed but didn't stop. The fracture must break. Behind her, the guardian roared. It lunged again, this time faster, angrier, reaching to tear Hale apart. Hale grabbed a fallen spear-like fragment from a shattered pillar and braced himself, eyes blazing with fear and determination. "Elara, please hurry," he shouted. She wasn't listening. She couldn't. The fracture pulled everything from her breath, her strength, her warmth, stripping her down to raw energy. Golden arcs crashed against the blue light of the gateway, fighting for dominance. Hale swung the stone spear as the guardian struck. The blow sent him flying across the chamber. He hit the ground hard, scraping across ancient dust. His lungs seized. His vision blurred. But he forced himself to crawl, dragging his battered body back toward Elara. Elara! The guardian turned from Hale and sensed the true threat. It charged toward her. "Elara, behind you!" Hale screamed, voice cracking. She didn't move. She was locked in the pull, the fracture now fully feeding on her power, threatening to split wider. The guardian leapt, and Hale did the only thing he could. He rose to his feet, sprinted forward with every ounce of strength he had left, and threw himself into the creature's path. The guardian slammed into him like a truck. The impact blasted Hale across the platform. He hit the side of the energy circle and collapsed, coughing blood, barely conscious. But the guardian's attack was interrupted for one crucial second. Elara released everything. A blast of golden light erupted from her palms, firing directly into the center of the fracture. The disk screamed. It cracked. It buckled. The entire chamber detonated in a shockwave of blinding color. Elara was thrown backward, crashing onto the stone floor as the fracture exploded into a rain of burning shards. The guardian staggered violently, its form destabilizing. Hale lifted his head weakly. Did you do it?" Elara forced herself upright, coughing, glowing veins dimming to embers. The fracture was broken, but not destroyed. Only half of it had shattered. The other half remained. And it was changing. The surviving half folded inward, liquefying into a smooth obsidian sphere the size of a human heart. It hovered above the platform, humming, alive. Elara stared in horror. "That's worse," she whispered. Hale wiped blood from his mouth. "What do you mean, worse?" "It condensed," she said softly. "It's not a gate anymore. It's a core. A seed." "A seed of what?" The chamber answered. The sphere ignited with a pulse that shook the entire world around them. Stone split. Light poured in cracks. Reality warped. "Elara," Hale whispered, eyes wide. "It's waking something." The floor gave way beneath them. They plunged into darkness. The fall felt endless. Wind tore past Elara's ears, cold and sharp as knives. Hale's voice echoed somewhere above, or below, She couldn't tell. The world was a spinning blur of shattered stone, blue light, and darkness swallowing everything. Then, a sudden impact. Not solid. Not soft. Something in between. Elara hit a surface that bent under her weight like stretched fabric, then snapped upward, tossing her gently onto solid ground. She gasped for air, rolling onto her side. The floor beneath her glowed faintly. Hale landed nearby, groaning, his body bouncing on the same strange material before settling beside her. "Elara, you alive?" He coughed. She nodded, stumbling to her feet. "Barely." They looked around. They had fallen into a massive cavern, vast, hollow, and shimmering with threads of blue light flowing across its ceiling like veins beneath translucent skin. The air here was different, heavy, damp, buzzing with energy. In the center of the cavern hovered the sphere, the condensed remnant of the fracture. It pulsed slowly, like the beat of a colossal heart. "This place," Elara whispered. "It's not a room. It's not a machine." Hale swallowed, staring up at the pulsating walls. "It's alive." Elara nodded. "We're inside a living structure. Something ancient. Something that wasn't meant for humans to stand inside." The ground trembled. Light flowed down the walls in synchronized waves, converging toward the hovering sphere. The hum deepened, vibrating in their bones. The sphere was feeding. Growing. "No," Elara whispered. "We didn't break it. We triggered its next stage." Hale turned slowly toward her. "Next stage of what?" Elara stared at the pulsing sphere. "A birthing process." Before Hale could respond, the sphere shot upward, firing a beam of blue-white energy into the cavern ceiling. The entire chamber lit up like a star igniting. Stone dissolved. Air shook. The ceiling opened. Above them, through the widening crack, they could see swirling clouds and a faint outline of something colossal moving behind them, like a shadow cast across the sky itself. Hale's eyes widened. That's not land." "No," Elara whispered. "It's a body." The chamber floor shook violently, forcing them to brace against the vibrating ground. "We need to move," Hale said. "Now." They sprinted toward the far side of the cavern as the sphere's energy intensified. Elara's veins pulsed painfully, reacting to the surge. Every time the sphere glowed, her body responded as if it were being synchronized to it, aligned with it. She fell to her knees. Hale slid beside her. "Elara, talk to me. It's pulling me." Her voice trembled. "My body's reacting to whatever it's becoming." Hale grabbed her hands. "Fight it." She tried. But the cavern suddenly shifted, literally moved, like a lung inhaling. A massive passage opened along the far wall, its walls sliding apart like muscle tissue reacting to nerve signals. The sphere lowered itself into the passage, as if expecting them, as if inviting Elara. Hale tightened his grip on her. "We're not following that thing." "We don't have a choice," she whispered, staring at the corridor pulsing with light. "If we don't, whatever it becomes will reach the surface." "And if we do follow it?" She looked at him with hollow fear. "Then we're walking into the place where gods are born." The cavern rumbled again. A roar, deep, ancient, echoed from somewhere within the walls. The ground split, revealing streams of white-hot light. "Elara!" Hale shouted, pulling her to her feet. "Move!" They ran, not toward the entrance they wanted, but toward the only one that wasn't collapsing. The passage the sphere had opened. As they crossed the threshold, the walls sealed shut behind them, closing like a throat-swallowing prey. Darkness engulfed them. Only the pulsating light of the sphere, drifting far ahead, guided their way. Hale whispered, "Tell me we're not inside a creature." Elara shook her head. "Not a creature." She stared at the sphere as it floated deeper into the glowing tunnels. "A god embryo." The tunnel trembled again, the air warming around them. Hale whispered, barely audible, "Elara, what if we're too late?" Elara stared forward, heart pounding, golden veins flickering. "We aren't too late," she said quietly. "We're exactly on time." The tunnel felt like it was breathing. Each step echoed strangely, absorbed by walls that shimmered with a sickly blue-white glow. Patterns moved beneath the translucent surface, veins, nerves, currents of energy pulsing in synchronized waves. The sphere floated far ahead, drifting slowly but deliberately, as if guiding them deeper into the creature, or structure, that birthed it. Hale watched it warily. "Elara, how sure are you that we should follow that thing?" "I'm not," she said honestly. "But it wants me. And if it gets to the end of this place without us, it will complete itself." "And become a god," Hale muttered. Elara swallowed. "Worse." The tunnel narrowed, curving upward. The air heated with every step. A distant heartbeat thudded through the walls, slow but massive, like a mountain shifting in its sleep. They reached a widening chamber. And froze. Floating inside the center of the room was a colossal, semi-transparent organ, a heart the size of a building, suspended in strands of glowing energy. It pulsed rhythmically, radiating light that rippled across the chamber walls. Hale whispered, "We are inside a living machine." "Not a machine," Elara murmured, eyes widening. "A womb." As if responding to her words, the heart released a pulse of energy. The sphere ahead of them lit up, absorbing the pulse, growing brighter. "No," she breathed. "It's feeding. This chamber is nourishing it. What happens when it finishes feeding?" Hale asked quietly. The heart pulsed again, deeper, louder. Elara looked sick. "It hatches." Before Hale could respond, the chamber floor cracked open beneath their feet. A wave of tendrils erupted, thin, sharp, glowing, whipping toward them like lightning. Hale dragged Elara back, barely dodging the first strike as the tendrils pierced the floor where they stood. "Elara, run!" They sprinted as more tendrils shot up, piercing stone like soft clay. One wrapped around Hale's leg, yanking him off balance. "Hale!" Elara grabbed his arm, pulling with all her strength as the tendril tightened. He winced in pain. "Go. Don't let it." "No," she snapped. "We stay together." Golden light surged through her veins. She focused, letting it spread through her fingertips. She grabbed the tendril directly. The moment her hand made contact, her vision exploded. She saw a city made of floating monoliths. A sky with no stars, only shifting eyes. Machines worshipping an empty throne. A godless world waiting to be filled. She tore her hand away, screaming. The tendril evaporated instantly. Hale scrambled up. "Elara, what did you see?" "Not now, move." The sphere drifted through another opening ahead, entering a long corridor. The chamber behind them collapsed, tendrils thrashing violently. They ran. The corridor walls pulsated faster, the heartbeat louder now, almost deafening. At the far end, the sphere slowed and hovered before a gigantic sealed archway. The symbols carved into it glowed faintly, waiting for something. Elara stumbled to a halt. "No," she whispered. "This is it." "What is it?" "The cradle." The archway trembled as if recognizing her presence. The golden veins in her arms ignited in response, flaring uncontrollably. "Elara." Hale stepped close. "Talk to me." She held her glowing arms up helplessly. "It's synchronizing with me. My body is being treated like a key. I wasn't meant to destroy the fracture. I was meant to be absorbed by what comes after." Hale grabbed her face gently, forcing her to look at him. "Elara, listen. You are not a key. You are not a weapon. You are a person. You hear me?" Her breath trembled. "It doesn't care." The sphere floated toward the archway. The arch responded, splitting open like a massive set of jaws. Beyond it lay a chamber of blinding white light. A silhouette moved inside. Humanoid. Tall. Growing. Hale whispered in horror. "The embryo." "No," Elara whispered. "The god." As the sphere drifted into the cradle, the air roared. And a massive hand, pale, glowing, not yet fully formed, reached outward from the light. Reaching for her. Elara stumbled backward, breath shattered. Hale pulled her behind him instinctively. "Stay behind me." The hand flexed, its fingers stretching, each one etched with ancient symbols. Its presence alone made the air tremble. Walls cracked. Light bent. "Elara!" Hale whispered, voice shaking. "What do we do?" Elara's voice cracked. "We run." But the cradle chamber slammed shut behind the forming god, and the corridor sealed on all sides. The walls pulsed. The heartbeat accelerated. And the voice inside her whispered, "You cannot escape what you were made for." Elara squeezed her fists, glowing veins blazing. "Hale," she whispered. "We fight." The corridor throbbed like a living artery. Every pulse sent a shockwave of energy rolling through the walls, shivering through Elara's bones. Hale held her hand tightly, too tightly, but she didn't pull away. She needed it. Needed something human in a place where humanity didn't belong. Ahead of them, the cradle chamber burned with white light. The forming god's silhouette shifted within it, growing, changing, taking on the vague shape of a humanoid giant. Limbs long and graceful, a spine like braided light, a head crested with living symbols that rippled like waves on water. And the hand that reached toward them. It was no longer just a shape. It was becoming solid. Elara felt her knees weaken. Its presence pressed into her lungs like a weight. Hale whispered, "Elara, what's it doing?" She swallowed hard. "It's learning." "Learning what?" "Us." The hand flexed again, forming fingers with perfect human articulation, except too long, too elegant, like a divine imitation of humanity rather than humanity itself. It pressed against the barrier of light separating it from the corridor. The barrier trembled. Microfractures spread across it like spiderwebs. "It's breaking through," Hale said, backing up. Elara shook her head. "No. We can't let it walk into our world. We stop it here." "How?" "We're ants trying to fight a hurricane." Elara raised her hands. Her veins blazed gold, angrier, brighter than ever before. Her body trembled as if something inside her fought to break free. "The core gave me energy," she said quietly. "Or it turned you into a battery," Hale countered. "Either way," she clenched her fists, golden sparks flying. "I can use it." The god's voice echoed. Not spoken, but vibrating through the air, through their minds. "Child of the lattice, come forth." Elara flinched as the voice pierced her skull. Hale stepped in front of her. "Back off. She's not your child." The light barrier shattered. Like glass made of stars. The god's massive hand surged forward, palm opening to seize Elara. Hale slammed into her, pushing her out of the way as the hand struck the floor, shattering stone. The shockwave threw them both down the corridor. Elara rolled, coughing blood. "Hale." "I'm fine," he yelled, even though he definitely wasn't. The hand withdrew, and the god pulled itself closer to the opening. Its upper torso became visible now, sculpted of light and latticed bone. Its hollow eyes flickered to life like newborn suns. "Elara of the core," the voice boomed, vibrating the air. "Return to your origin." Elara stood shakily. "I'm not yours. I'm not anything you made." The god tilted its growing head. "You were crafted from my pattern. The spark you carry is mine. You exist to complete what I began before your world crawled from dust." The truth hit her like ice. Hale stared at her. "Elara, what's it talking about?" She shook her head. "I don't know. I don't." But she did. Deep in her bones. She had always known. The golden veins weren't a gift from the core. They were a genetic inheritance, something placed in her ancestors long before human history began. The god extended its hand again, gentler this time. "Come, child. Fulfill your design." Elara stepped back, shaking. "I am human. You are a vessel." Hale grabbed her wrist. "Don't listen to it." She tried to pull free, not from him, but from the crushing truth pressing inside her skull. The god pushed one step forward. The ground trembled. The walls glowed. The tunnel behind them sealed shut. They were trapped. Hale whispered, "Elara, we need a plan." "There is no plan," she said, voice breaking. "We can't fight a god." Hale gripped her shoulders. "Then we don't fight it." She stared at him. "What do you mean?" "We break the cradle." Her breath froze. "Hale, if we break this chamber, the collapse could kill us." "Or," Hale said quietly, "it kills it." before it becomes unstoppable. The forming god stepped closer, one foot pressing into the ground, leaving burning symbols where it touched. You cannot harm me. This shell is temporary. I have slumbered within your blood for millennia. Elara's pulse spiked. She felt her veins burn. The golden light inside her surged without her control. Hale stepped between her and the god again. Elara, look at me. She looked. You are not a vessel, Hale said softly. You're not a key. You're not a prophecy. He touched his forehead to hers. You are the bravest person I've ever known. And you choose your own path. Her breath shook. I don't know if I can do this. He squeezed her hand. Then I'll do it with you. The god lifted its massive arm once more. The air rippled. The chamber shook. Elara finally closed her eyes and let the energy inside her go. Golden light exploded from her body, tearing through the corridor, slamming into the walls, shattering the ceiling. The entire cradle buckled. The chamber cracked open, light spilling through fractures like blood from a wound. The forming god roared, its voice shaking reality itself. Hale held onto Elara as the ground collapsed beneath them. They fell into blinding white light.